What's going on, guys? I'm Roger Fountain, and welcome to Movie Shit, a podcast about movies and shit. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about the new A24 movie, Bodies, 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 as well as The Invitation, and we may touch on Beast a little bit with Idris Elba, playing some catch-up here. Our episode today is brought to you by Snack It Inserts. These temperature-changing devices come in warm or cool. Their form-fitting bag shape slips right into your pocket and keeps your snacks temp ready for consumption for up to 2 hours. So you can enjoy your pizza rolls, string cheese, or whatever other snack when you're good and ready. Say goodbye to the always room temperature snacks on the go and say hello to the future with Snack It Inserts. It even comes with a recipe book for pocket spaghetti, pocket yogurt, and you can order finger cutlery attachments to enjoy them with, sold separately. All right, today I'm joined by my good friend Mike. Mike, how are you?
I'm good.
All right, so first up, let's talk about Bodies, Bodies, Bodies.
Let's do it.
I had a pretty good time with that movie, to be honest.
Yeah.
I know you're not a big
talked
fan
about
as
it
I was.
already. Yeah, I was. I hated it. There's no other way to put it. I hated it.
It's another one of those movies that, like, I thought the script was pretty clever. Just like, I mean, you like the script for Vengeance, but I guess Vengeance was more up your alley than this was. This is more like a young adult and like, I don't know.
I get what they were trying to do. They wanted, it was dry, kind of deadpan, dry humor in parts.
Yeah.
It just didn't resonate with me at all. It was just,
yeah, I got you.
Overly awful. It was
overly awful. I wouldn't describe it that way.
At some points in that movie, man, I honestly felt like, you remember early 2000s, late 90s, like the big thing was like, scary movie, or
yes,
not another teen movie. I felt like I was watching one of those.
Like you were watching a spoof movie?
I thought it was another parody film again. It was just so over the top.
I mean, it kind of was. It was like a satire on like the. Oh, by the way, spoilers, everybody. So if you haven't seen these movies, stop listening now. It was kind of a satire, on the murder mystery type of movies. Just because in this one, there's not a murderer at all. It's just them being fucking goofy and accidentally killing each other.
And I understand. I get that. Like, that's where he was going in the script. So I get where he was, like, it's a play on how young teenage kids without technology would go crazy and kill each other. Yeah. I 100% agree with that. That I can agree with, and it does resonate a little bit, but it doesn't make up for the freaking cornball acting. I hate Pete Davidson's face, so that doesn't help at all. I hate that guy's face. I don't know. It was just, man, it was just so. It was like in the movie theater. It was cringy, man. I was cringy.
It was cringy for you?
Some of these scenes, yes.
That's funny. Like, so the execution is what fell short for you. It wasn't the concept itself.
It was even the concept. Like, I know what he was. I don't know. I don't even know who. I didn't. It was so bad. Usually after I watch a film, I immediately go to IMDb. I look up the trivia and all this stuff. I didn't even care. I gave it the 3 out of 10 rating that I thought it was, and I immediately moved on with my life.
3 out of 10. So harsh.
And that was being generous.
Oh my god. So it was directed by, I think I'm pronouncing her name, Helena Rain. But yeah, and then like writers were Sarah DeLapp and Kristen Ropanian. I'm terrible at pronouncing names. Sorry. Yeah, I have the IMDb pulled up, but I thought the script was the best part about the movie. You give it a 3 out of 10. I would give this a 6. Just like, so I give Vengeance a 7 because like the script was really good. This one, I think the script was also fantastic, but like they didn't really do anything revolutionary as far as like any of the shots or anything. The biggest production thing for me was like the primary source of light throughout the entire movie were the like girls' cell phones, So I thought that was interesting.
I liked the lighting when they found him in the basketball gym. Like the only light.
I was going to say that was the best.
That was very cool. Yeah, that was a very cool scene. I will admit to that. But homie got cracked in the back of his head.
Yeah, Greg.
It was
Yeah,
just,
Greg was my favorite character, man.
yes,
And
that part. That was the only part that I really enjoyed though throughout the movie is when they're like, well, it makes sense. It would be Greg. He was a vet, and she's like, he was a veterinarian's assistant.
and there we go. Yeah, it just circles back to like young people's like assumptions about stuff or whatever. And yeah, it was like 3 girls in that room with him, and they just assumed that he was this violent maniac killer just because he was a cis man that was pretty jacked. They're just like, well, it's got to be him. Who else would it be? And then his like survivalistic kit or whatever with like the house circled and stuff didn't help him any.
Can we just admit that this movie probably set females back 10 years? Because like every female in this movie was overly emotional.
Oh yeah.
They were college educated, but they were all
dumb.
Super dumb.
Yeah.
They had no communication skills whatsoever.
Yeah.
They were all conniving, backstabbing gossips.
Super gossips. Yep.
You know what I mean? So, which you don't see that like a lot of the newer movies like this, like with female empowerment being a big thing. It's actually pretty rare that you see female actresses like written so poorly.
Again, I think it's a satire on that. So like they're supposed to be overly dumb and stuff, and it's not actually representative. But that one scene, whenever they like use all of the like modern colloquialisms that young teenage girls use, like, oh, you trigger me, you're so toxic, like that whole that was all like one thing just between like the 3 girls right before it like builds up to the one getting like shot in the leg or whatever. And she's like, you shot me, I knew it was you fucking bitch.
Yes. And that was maybe, again, I understand it's supposed to be satirical, but it's also like that is real life, and those kind of people, like, I hate that stuff in real life. So it was so cringy watching it. You know what I mean? Watching it unfold. I don't know.
Well,
it was like that.
It was rooting for them to die. That should have been enjoyable.
I was so excited when they all started killing each other. That was the one silver lining.
There you go.
Look, it has been okay. The last time I left a movie theater in the middle of a movie was Hellboy 2.
I remember you told me that. Yeah, the Golden Army.
Yes, I went with a high school friend. And I left. I left him there. He was enjoying it. I left him by himself, and I went to the mall and walked around until he was done with that movie.
Oh my god!
2 different times.
Who was it?
This movie I almost left. Matthew Bassey.
Oh, okay, gotcha. You almost left. We almost left during the invitation, for real though.
Yes. Do you want to get into that? Because we also have different. Well, I think we're on the same track with that movie, but.
Yeah. We'll stay on bodies for right now. Another one thing is like the setup is kind of ridiculous because they're having this hurricane party, which is like these people are so rich that whenever a storm rolls through, they just like celebrate it and stuff because they're just gonna pay people to like fix up their property and clean it up, and they never have to do anything anyway or whatever. It's like they literally don't have a care in the world. Like if a tree crashed through someone's house, normally that would be like a devastating life change, but not these guys. They just call it a party. And maybe that's, I don't know, like they're super, like Pete Davidson's character, who we both Pete Davidson we don't really like, but they kill him off first, which is good because like he gets typecast and stuff as like a douchebag, so I don't really know his like acting range, but I mean he plays like the daddy's money character pretty well in this. So were you happy whenever you got to see how he was like actually executed?
I was on, so I had a feeling the whole time. I was like, he accidentally killed himself.
Charlie did too. Charlie called that stuff way far away.
Yeah, as soon as I found out he was dead, I was like, all right, he has killed himself somehow.
Mm-hmm.
But I was honestly upset that he was one of the first ones to die, though, because his douchebag character.
Get him out of the way.
His douchebag character was the only thing that like I enjoyed. Like he was like hella toxic and like creating at least like some kind of confrontation. I don't know, like setting the tone.
You thought he was one of the most engaging characters, whether you liked him or not.
Right. Like he bullying. It was funny to me that. Again, and this is real life because of the current culture we live in. This skinny, like chronically dehydrated looking guy is bullying some like massive guy throughout the film, who's like either too nice or too concerned about what the females in the room will think if he just like crushes this kid, you know?
Yes, yeah, I think he was. I mean, Greg was constantly fighting his like violent urges and literally turns the other cheek whenever Pete Davidson like slaps him or whatever. He was like
Punches
he was the most zen and the most chill, and that's what's so weird about, like, you know, he was like the second one to go or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think all the actors and actresses, they did a great job. Amandla Stenberg played Sophie. Maria Bakalova played B. That was the two like main couple at the beginning or whatever. I thought it was funny that
couple.
like, huh?
The super horny couple, like every other scene they were making out.
I mean, everybody in this movie was pretty horny.
Yeah, every actress, yeah. But none of the actors. None of the actors were horny. It was all the actresses, which I thought was great.
But so my favorite was Alice. She was the one with all the like glow sticks and stuff around like her neck and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, she was the best.
She's
just like running around in the dark.
Yeah, overly emotional.
Yeah, well, I mean,
extremely.
Yeah, she was overly emotional. I think this was like a pretty Scooby-Doo-ish movie. It was just like a bunch of teens running around in the dark, like, oh, geez. Like, one of them, Emma, she actually just like trips and dies, right? Like she takes some drugs or something and just like falls.
I don't think, did they ever, they never showed how she died.
No, like, I still don't know how it happened. Maybe she OD'd on those drugs that she like gave her or whatever.
Maybe.
She got pushed or something, like down the stairs or something. It kind of reminded me, did you ever see Burn After Reading?
No.
So it's a Coen Brothers movie with Brad Pitt, Frances McDermott.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, yes, I remember watching that, yeah.
And George Clooney or whatever, and J.K. Simmons is like the FBI agent or whatever. But yeah, after like a couple of the characters die and you're winding down to the end of the movie, and J.K. Simmons is like, so what was the point of all of that? He's like, I don't know if there was one. And then it just kind of like ends. That's kind of like this movie. Like, it's just it was just a silly fun time for me. Like, I don't think they were trying to like say anything too high-headed or lofty or anything. It was just like an excuse to have like a bunch of drama and stuff.
Yeah, I think I went into it thinking it was an actual horror movie.
Oh, I got you.
Like, because that's what every trailer you've seen depicted it as a horror film. You didn't really start seeing the trailer for it until fall came around, when the horror trailers came out, when you was going to scary movies, and that's when they were showing the new upcoming. So I was like, okay, it's a new horror film by A24. That'll be dope.
Yeah,
and it was stupid, is what it was. So
no, see, like the first trailer that I saw where they chopped up all of the bits where she's like, I can't believe you're making this about you or whatever, and like all the little like quick sound bites that are just like silly teenage girl talk or whatever. I knew it was going to be stupid. I didn't think it was going to be actually scary or anything.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, even a lot of classic horror films are stupid, but they're classic. Yeah. Like the original Scream.
Oh yeah. Like, Scream's so separate from other stuff because Scream is like so self-aware. That's just always right. Like, they have the Stab series within the Scream series, and
if you go back and watch Scream, so like the original, so dumb, very corny, but it's an all-time classic.
But so good, yeah.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking this was going to be similar to, but it was not.
In as much as it is like a whodunit with like a bunch of murderous types.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, all right. So let's move on to The Invitation. What would be your score?
Maybe 5 if I'm being nice, because there was
5 if you're being nice. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 2.
Yeah. So there's like, it's a vampire movie, and they're always hit or miss. and I don't know. I'm a sucker for I love vampire things. That's
Oh, same. I love
my
vampire
favorite
stuff.
genre. So I'm being generous with the 5, obviously, because I like vampires.
Yeah.
So,
but
but it was terrible too. It wasn't to
terrible.
me. I know you preferred Bodies.
Yes.
I preferred The Invitation because.
No, God no. You kidding me? There's nothing. At least Bodies had like a little. The script had a little bit of originality to it. Like I hadn't really seen that executed before with like modern day technology and lexicon and verbiage and stuff in that fun sense. The Invitation's just like, oh, here we go. It's a romance vampire thing, and
a forced vampire. Yes, it was like all this, so much build up to quickly end in 20 minutes.
It was like the longest hour, one of the longest hour and 45 minutes of my life.
Yeah, I think from the time he comes out of the closet in a non-homosexual way, and he like cuts the maid's throat, and they start drinking the blood. From the time that happens, and she realizes what's going on, to the end of the movie, it's like 30 minutes, and it's over.
Yeah, it wraps up really quick. Yeah, it doesn't. It's like 90 minutes in whenever they're like, "Oh, she's the bride." Guess you didn't see that coming, did you, bitch? I only saw it coming like since before I watched the fucking movie.
I mean, yeah, like, the trailer immediately gives that away.
Yeah, if you watch the trailer, there's nothing new happens in the movie.
Nothing at all.
And that's what.
There was enough there though to where it could have been good.
Oh yeah. Charlie said the same thing. I agree. It could have been decent.
As is most vampire films. There's like, there's so much lore with vampires. You can make a banging movie if you take your time and do it right, but they didn't.
Right. Or don't take your time if you do it like a fast pace. Did you see The Day Shift?
Yes.
Dude, Day Shift was a better vampire movie than this.
It was like a, like, I don't know if you liked the Underworld series, but after like the 17th one, they kind of sucked. But the originals were super fun.
I think I watched the first one. Maybe that's it.
Yeah, don't go past like 2. I think there's like 5 of them now. But
so it's like Resident Evil.
Yeah. Hey, look, I'm still a sucker for all the Resident Evil films, okay? They're so bad, but it's like Sharknado. I gotta see it.
Oh my god, I haven't watched any of the Sharknadoes. No, but Charlie and I were talking about this. Yeah, like, and for some reason, so we're kind of in a section in time where a bunch of vampire stuff is coming out. We got like what we do in the shadows, and then just like earlier this year, Morbius came out, which was another vampire movie by Sony. Which this movie is just as bad or worse than Morbius.
Oh, yeah. Morbius was a little better, but not by much, I would say.
Not by much, just because of the action and like all the effects were way better than
just
this.
Just because of its Morbin time.
Shut up. But it's not going to get as much. This movie's not going to get as much attention just because there's nothing. It's not tied to Marvel, and so not everybody's attention is like on it or whatever. So like this is probably just going to fly under the radar, even though it's got pretty massive release. Like it's like you can watch it in theaters fucking everywhere. Even though it's trash, and that's just because Sony's backing it or whatever. And I don't know, man. I feel like, oh shit, was there any product placement for Sony in this? Maybe her phone was Sony. I know they're always bad about that. I didn't catch it this time.
They're so bad. Even in kids' movies, they're extremely advertising.
I think they're. I'm sure they plug in a Sony Bravia TV or something in the fucking Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah. I don't know. There was a Christmas movie, I forget, with Santa Claus. There was like so much Sony advertising in that.
Really?
Yeah, I forget the Christmas movie. But like they bring up PlayStation. It's like throughout it.
Oh my god! I wish for a PlayStation 5.
This one would have been a little harder to do because it's like a pre-colonialism
it's like
stuff,
and that was another thing is like, so the CG fire effects at the end or whatever, the little burning house shit, that sucked. Like,
it's, did you see what I mean? Okay,
it's this big stone structure and like all this fucking Actions Essentials Pack 2 shitty fucking tracking stock footage flames are coming out of the windows and shit.
And like when she's standing there as like she watches what she's done, like all the people she's killed, like the
The
sparks that
final
are
girl
kind of
shot or whatever.
the sparks that are coming around her. That is so bad.
It's so
Like
bad.
that is like Jurassic Park 3 CGI bad.
Yeah, probably. I mean, worse. Like all it is just actual. It's just footage of like little spigots of flame coming off of something, and then they chroma key out the black, and then they slap some motion blur on it and set it off to the side of the screen. It's just
Right.
like, and then add some like a little bit of orange glow lighting around the edges.
Right.
It's no es bueno. They definitely cheaped out on that.
Which
but yeah, so the script obviously boring, predictable, unoriginal, bland. Same note the whole movie. No real humor. Romance was not engaging or interesting.
Nope. It was that was another thing. It was like, oh, you just immediately fell in love with this dude. There was like he was nice to you once, and you're like head over heels for him. It's like, am I watching Twilight now?
Oh, do not arouse up the Twilight fandom. They're ravenous. I remember watching the first Twilight in high school, and I wrote like a 4-page paper tearing it apart. Got a good grade on it. But yeah, production wise, yes, yeah, for Miss Bow. Production wise, like they tried to put like some of the jump scares. Like there's no jump scares. There's nothing scary really.
None. There was none.
No.
There, a couple of times they tried to like, as the maids were looking for the bottles of wine, and like suddenly but it was like it was so predictable. You knew what was about to happen. So.
And that like they think that a jump scare equates to something new coming in the frame and the music going boom. Like when she turns around and like the maid's there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like who fucking cares?
Or even like the creepy scenes, man, when she's laying in the bed and the vampires, or what we find out at the end, it's just like the wives messing with her, or the one.
Yeah,
wife.
She's like, I was in a playful mood.
Yeah, there could have been decent jump scares in those scenes, and there was zilch.
Yeah. Yeah, it was terrible. The last bit was not needed. Like whenever it comes back after the credits, and like they're gonna go in after our cousin Oliver or whatever with the bat. She's like, "See, bat, like a vampire bat."
Yeah,
get it? I was like, "What is this?" And she calls her sis. Yeah, she calls her friend sis. Like she's been looking for family the whole movie. Family, and that's what you're supposed to get. I'm like, this is terrible. I don't care about her family issues being resolved. I don't care about any of these characters.
It's like it was bad. I would have liked it more if it was realistic, as in like you're telling me you're gonna make me a vampire and I'm gonna live forever. Sign me up. Let's do it, bro. And family now. All these people I'm kin to. Sounds great.
It does. It was a great fucking deal, and that's the one thing. Like the only vampire that made any sense was like the one that like sucked the blood off her finger or whatever.
Yeah,
she's like, I've been doing this for 500 years. I'm gonna keep doing it.
Yeah, a little jealous because some new blood's coming in. She's not the favorite anymore. Yeah.
And another fucking terrible fucking thing is like they didn't say Dracula. She's like, so you mean to tell me you're? He's like, excuse me, and then he goes and bites her like leg. I'm like, okay, so Tarantino did this movie, gotcha. It was also Dracula, the Dracula, dies like a little bitch in this.
What? So bad?
like she just stabs him like one time and then kicks him on the floor, and he just sits there and burns. He's like, oh god, oh no.
I have Clark Kent like reflexes, and I just let this chick stab me.
I have the strength of 1,000 men, but I can't stand up and walk out of this 2-inch fire.
Extremely predictable. She's throwing fire everywhere. She's like on the attack, and you let her take you out. It was
and
bad.
like the vampires don't even die in an interesting way. They just like fucking Thanos snap turn into dust.
Yes, that's what I said. I said, oh, Sony left some of those effects from the Thanos snap.
Yeah, like if you took that and overlaid it with the shot of at the end of Ant-Man 2, whenever Ant-Man's stuck in the quantum realm and the doctor and they like disappear off the rooftop, I could have sworn it was just the same animation.
It probably was.
I'm like, all right, whatever. And another thing is like sometimes they set up some stuff. I mean, obviously, like the biggest thing you were interested in, you said like was the lore, like the three families thing. They could have fleshed that out more, or like the concept of vampires. He has to have 3 wives. Something about the Holy Trinity or something is like that's what gives him the immortality. They could have fleshed any number of these things out.
Right.
They didn't.
No, and, like what's the importance of the Alexander family? Why did he go search for her? Okay, it was her great grandmother that recently killed herself. Cool, but why does it need to be an Alexander? You know?
Yeah, what's with the bloodline?
Right.
And another, even so, that's like a bigger, broader lore sense things. But some of the little stuff that they set up with multiple close-ups, little things that didn't have a payoff in the movie. So like the candles that she's like lighting in the library, they look like they're made from like human fat, right? Or something. And so I was like, okay. And then she stabs them with the candle. I'm like, all right, are the candles gonna be a thing? Are they? What's going on here? Nothing. Never mentioned again. Nobody fucking cares.
No one
and
cares.
Also the opening scene with the shots of the service bells ringing, like all the bells, like that was creepy. That's cool. What's up with the bells? And like they have that whole bit where she's like, ring if you need anything, don't ring it. And that never pays off. And I'm like, and also they eat all of the fucking maids. They'd kill all the help. Why are you sitting in your fucking room ringing the bell? Nobody's gonna come. They're all dead. What's the point?
It was, and then all the bells are ringing at the very end. Who's in these rooms? They were all searching for her.
Yeah, like none of this shit makes like any sense at all.
Because there was like, we know at this point there are 4 vampires.
Yes,
right. 3. Him, the 2 wives. The rest of them are civilians helping them feed, keep it to stay safe.
Or whatever, yeah. Like maybe just fucking, do they have like vampire luck dust that they sprinkle on the families or something?
Yeah, so like, again, who's in these rooms? There's only 3 vampires. There's 40-something rooms is what they say at the beginning. And all the bells are going off.
Yeah. And whatever, and they're all the Alexander room and whatever, named after, I don't know, the members of the families and shit. Also, Uncle Andrew eye patch guy, like fucking... I don't know anything about any of these. What was the mouth thing that they do where they press like the two fingers to their lips? I'm like, wait, what is this? Is that a gang sign?
I was like, that's cool. I was like, cool. We're getting into the occult now. Let's talk about that. No,
right.
It's just what we do. We're smoking cigarettes. We're all smokers here.
We got the mask. It's like Eyes Wide Shut. We're just gonna hodgepodge a bunch of thematic things together that you're familiar with, and then that's it.
Yes. The only thing that could have made it, I don't know, more cliche was garlic, which was never brought up.
And that cliche is the word for it, is because there's nothing there that you haven't seen before, you know?
Correct.
It doesn't go anywhere. And she's like, oh, we actually can walk out during the daytime. That's just a misconception. And like, whatever, he fucking...
But they never do. Did you notice? They never did.
I mean, he is whenever she gets there in the morning off the plane.
You're right,
that's
he is. That's true, yeah.
I'm glad Alfred from Gotham was in it and is still just being a fucking butler. I mean, he always... That's the thing, is like the cast did fine. Like there wasn't anything that I saw off-putting as unbelievable.
That was another thing that I didn't like. They never get, like, his character was pretty central to the movie, but they never explained why. What was his loyalty to him? You know, he was just like, like he was
just there.
He hated her. Yeah. He hated her. I think it was like racial undertones is what they were going for. He was kind of racist.
Yes.
But there was no reason for him to be loyal. Once she stabbed the main guy, he's like, oh, I'm free. Nope, he's still chasing her.
Yep, he still, for some reason, just hates her. And he's like, I'm going to enjoy bloody killing you or whatever.
The rest of the civilians, they just dip. They're like, all right, bet it's over with. Don't kill me. My bad. The cousin, he's like, look, my bad. And he takes off. They all dip, but he's still like after her.
Yeah, I don't know. That was another thing. I think that was like the angle to take would be the racial component and like whatever. Superior genetics, that whole thing, Nazi vampires shit, whatever you could get in there. But they don't do, they mention it like very briefly, like that's it.
Yeah. I would have much rather her been, from my knowledge, because I don't know of any black female vampires. So she could have been like the first female Blade, and that would have been way cooler than what they did.
Yeah.
Just let her speed the movie up, let her become a vampire, and then just start taking out other vampires. That would have been way cooler than...
That would have been way better. Shorten that bad boy to 90 minutes, yeah.
Yeah. Did the CGI fire at the end.
Yeah. All right, well, you both agree that was garbage. Are you going to stick with your 5? I'll stick with my 2.
I gave it a 5 right after the movie theater. It's probably more like a 3 or 4.
Yeah. Did you see Morbius?
I did see Morbius. I saw that in theaters with my son.
Oh my god. Did you think it was scary?
He loved it. Yeah, he was scared at some parts, but he loved it. Him and Mally both, they was actually dying laughing at David Tennant's character. Or not David Tennant,
Matt Smith's character.
Yeah. Sorry, wrong Doctor Who.
Oh, you're fine. Yeah, my mom also liked it, and those were the parts that she liked. She's like, yeah, but he's dancing. I'm like, cool. So you have like the mind of like a 6-year-old. Great.
Yes, Mally was dying in the theater at that part when he was dancing. She loved it.
It's terrible. One of the guys I went to see it with, he just stands up at the end. It was just a dude in the crowd, and he was like, "What was that?" And we're all like, "Yeah, yeah, man."
Matt Smith did carry that movie. I did like.
Yeah, I mean, Matt Smith's a fine actor. Yeah, and like just the shit that Jared Leto pulled like on set. Did you hear about him like method acting and pretending that he was like crippled to like just go to the bathroom on set, and so it would take him like 45 minutes to go use the restroom?
That's hilarious, but no.
And so then eventually he wouldn't fucking stop it. So eventually the production paid 2 other people to fucking carry him or wheel him around in a wheelchair and carry him to the bathroom so they could get it done quicker.
That is hilarious.
It's the
I just need a fraction of that kind of wealth where I can do nonsense like that. And then people still cater to my every, need.
Fucking, I'm not a fan of method acting.
I could tell you right now, I could legitimately be crippled, and my wife would still say, "Figure it out." You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, so what did you think of Beast? I did not see that movie with old Idris Elba.
Yeah, we might as well wrap this turd fest of a movie weekend up in a nice bow.
I was gonna say the late summer Scream episode here, and guess what? It's not a Scream, it's a yawn.
It was I will say this. It was better than I expected. I expected to go out, leave the theater, and be like, that was the worst movie I've watched this year.
Yeah.
That still goes to Bodies, Bodies, Bodies.
Oh, shut up.
I'm not even joking, bro. It was Jaws on land, man. I like if you like the Jaws movies,
yeah,
you'll kind of enjoy this. But it's not iconic like Jaws by any sense. You know what I mean? That's just a easy comparison.
Is there shots of like the Serengeti and like you see like close-ups?
There are really cool shots. Yes, there are really cool shots of like the his friend that's escorting them on the initial safari that they're kind of going on. He actually has some cubs that he raised as babies and then released them in the wild, and they still have like a mutual respect where he can come up to the pride and they'll come up and they let him pet them and stuff, which plays cool. Which plays a huge role at the end of the film, which I thought was cool. I thought that was cool the way they done that. I will say that, and like the way they were like the whole time they're sticking together as a family. Him and his 2 daughters, they're sticking together as a
Mhm.
family.
It's a metaphor. It's a comparison for like a lion pride and like a
Exactly.
human unit. Yeah.
And the way they wrap that up at the end by saying, look, sometimes the lion has to protect the pride, and the way he does that is by separating himself from the pride. It's what he does at the end to kill off the lion.
Yeah,
But
I got you. Does he use
in
his
the
daughters as bait?
no. He leaves them in this building that they've kind of escaped to for safety. He runs away, gets the lion to chase after him, and what he does is he runs to that other pride that they seen at the beginning of the movie that he knew was nearby, to where they would come and protect their pride by
He just
attacking.
gets them to fight each other. Yeah.
Exactly. Very Jurassic Worldish.
Big CG lion fight.
But it was honestly it was fun. The first probably 45 minutes. It wasn't overly done. It was very self-aware. But again, it's a line. I'm shooting this line with a tranq dart immediately because I'm not a moron with a gun, and he's down for the count, right?
Yeah.
This is Hollywood, so they're not. So obviously they suck at shooting, which that kind of irritated me.
They went to the stormtrooper school of shot.
Yeah, and then there was a scene where kind of his best friend, again, I don't know. Do you plan on seeing this film?
No. God, no.
Okay. Maybe when it comes into the red box, that's $1 special.
If it's free, I'll whatever. I might watch it.
His friend kind of so the lion is coming after him again. He's attacking. Well, the friend sacrifices himself because they've wrecked the truck. There's gas leaking, so he sacrifices himself by lighting a lighter, blowing the truck up with the lion inside, so they can escape. I was like, that's dope. That's a nice way to end the film. Wrap it up in a bow. Guess what? Lion's not dead. He's just covered in ash and soot.
Oh my god.
And he's still on the prowl. Not to mention the fact that they escape at this point. They've escaped in a truck, and they've probably drove 15, 20 kilometers. Somehow the lion is already right on their tail.
Really? It's just fast. He's a fast boy.
This is all in the last 20, 30 minutes of the movie where the self-awareness goes out the window. Suddenly lions are similar to the movie Jaws, where it was like, okay, this is a bit excessive.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah. It was, like I said, I enjoyed like the first maybe 45 minutes of it, because I was like, okay. I could see every bit of this taking place, because like the whole idea behind the movie is like at the very beginning you see a bunch of poachers kill his pride, the lion's pride that's attacking.
So he just hates humans, yeah.
So he kind of become not really, I don't know the word for it, but still like aware of who the enemy is, which is humans. But no particular human, just all.
Right, bipedal creatures. Fuck them.
That's what you've seen the trailer where they go into the village and they're all like a bunch of people are dead. Like he's attacking.
They took out a whole village.
Yeah.
Nice.
So he's attacking without remorse. So all of that, I was like, okay, I could see all of this happen. Some lion coming in, he attacks 3 or 4 human, because there's not a bunch of dead people. There's like 4 people that are dead. So comes, he kills 4 people that are unaware there's a lion on the prowl, because everybody in Africa says that lions do not behave this way. As long as you don't mess with their pride, they don't mess with you. And then, so all of this is like, okay, I could see all this happening. Yeah, that would, and that's why I was saying I was getting the kind of Jaws feel where, like, how people were terrified to go to the beach to see,
right? Because it presented the terror in a realistic way.
Right. I'm thinking to myself, I'm never going on a safari.
Right.
And then, like, it becomes very stupid very quickly.
Okay, well that sucks. I mean, male lions sleep 22 hours out of the day or some shit, right?
Yeah, a really long time, because they use like a ton of energy hunting.
Yeah. Gotta burn those carbs, BB.
Well, no, actually, they don't do the hunt. The females do the hunting, right? They just their only job as the lion is to protect the pride.
Is to if some other predator comes around, they fuck them up.
Right.
All right. I did see something about like in the casting for that movie. They were gonna get Idris Elba wanted his actual daughter to play his daughter, and the producers were like, "Well, she doesn't really have the chemistry with you to be your daughter." He's like, "All right."
From what I read was she wanted the role, and he
Yeah.
said, "You can have it, but you're going to audition for it." And
Gotcha.
they were like, "She sucks." And she was actually mad at him for
That's
not
probably
pulling
how it
strings
went down.
to get her hired.
I mean, it's
He
it's
carried the movie,
different
though. I mean, obviously.
to be like on camera and like in scene with somebody or whatever. It's like because you have to be able to execute lines not as yourself,
Yeah.
and convince them that you're like an alternate universe version of dad and daughter or whatever. Did you saw Pursuit of Happiness, right?
Yeah.
Because that's like Will Smith. That's like what's
Loved
his
it.
name? Jaden
Mhm.
Smith or whatever. That's like his actual son, and he was right at that point where he's like so young that and so self-aware that he could sell it, while still being like cute or whatever, and it was like it worked out fine.
Yeah, for sure.
But like I think past like start getting into teenage years, then it starts getting kind of harder to sell.
Yeah. It wasn't, I mean, again, it wasn't great. It wasn't horrible. It was
Yeah.
like,
It's average.
I would have been more than, I would have enjoyed it a lot more if I didn't pay to see it.
Mm-hmm.
If it was free.
I got to thinking, since we do like the AMC A-list or whatever, like it doesn't really cost me anything to go see the movies. I don't really think about it at all. But like, if I was one of the people that like only go see like one movie a year, 1 or 2 movies a year, and I went and saw The Invitation, I'd fucking shoot myself. I'd be like, oh my god, I gotta get my money back. I gotta walk out. Can I get a refund? I just can't do this.
For sure.
All right. So what's next on the docket? You gonna go see the Dragon Ball movie?
I'm thinking Dragon Ball Super. I'm definitely gonna see it. I may just wait for Crunchyroll to get that one.
Okay.
I might go. Have you seen the trailer to that 3,000 Years of Longing? It's kind of like a fantasy romance movie.
No. I have no
From
idea
what
what you're talking about.
a lot of people are saying it's like a Aladdin for adults. It's like she meets a genie. And it looks okay based off the thing. And I was looking at the IMDb rating. It's like a 6.5. Fandango's got like a 70%. Well, it may not be terrible.
We'll see.
Yeah, it's got what's his name? I think it's Heimdall's character, or Heimdall, the guy that plays Heimdall. I think he's in it.
I mean,
He's the genie.
Heimdall's Idris Elba, right?
Oh, it is. Yeah, duh. Yeah, it's Idris Elba.
Yeah.
He's in it. That's why because I seen that trailer when I went to see Beast.
Yeah,
He's the
gotcha.
he's the genie in it. So
he's in a bunch of shit, man. Doing a lot of work.
The best
as well he
Charles
should,
Miner,
because he's
though,
great.
so. The best character he ever played was Charles Miner.
Shut up! Did you see the picture of him in Beast? It was the Beast poster, but he was just hunting his cats, the cat's version of himself.
No.
Pretty good, because he plays like a pimp cat or something. He has like a big jacket and a hat and shit. It's fucking weird.
It's awesome.
All right. Well, thanks for joining me, Mike. Once again, our show is brought to you by Bear Grylls. No, not the famous survivalist celebrity. We couldn't get him attached to this product for safety reasons. However, are you tired of walking around and smiling at city slickers with the fear of them thinking that you're a soft pushover? Well, not anymore. With our Bear Grylls, you can be stylish and functional. These grills fit right over your teeth just like any other grill, but they also have a built-in piece of flint for striking and creating fire, a string that can be unraveled to use for fishing, as well as a jagged edge for a hook that may or may not cut your mouth while wearing this product. It also has flashing LED lights that can be used in your mouth at raves or to flag down emergency cars for help. Bear Grylls. Nope, not that one.
I like it. That's the best one
yet.
All
right, Mike.